Hey guys, welcome to episode one of On the Mic podcast. It's officially our first video. Um, yeah, I mean, I think we didn't quite see, we didn't see what you know, how many views, what people thought, or anything like
Yeah,
this. We're kind of
we're
recording
back to back
ahead.
recording.
We're trying to get, a little bit of a head start
A
since
little bit of a
we're,
start. Yeah.
weekends coming up.
Yep.
People want to rest, study.
Break.
Yeah, exactly. And
Winter
then we
break.
have finals week. We have what, two exams, or you have three?
I've got two.
I have to also. So we have two exams.
We got a project.
Yeah, exactly. We have another project to finish. So there's just stuff that we gotta do before we go, and then we go to our homes.
We go
I mean,
home.
I live in state college,
Yeah.
so
He's here.
but I'm
I
flying to
get to go home.
Poland, which we'll get back into that as we go along. But
Sure.
yeah, so we're gonna be away, so we're just gonna try to figure out how we make other podcasts. We're gonna try to add more ahead. So just guys, if you guys look at us and we're wearing the exact same things, it's because we're recording ahead and we're just trying to give you guys some content and we're just trying to see how this whole thing
Yeah.
plays out.
Figure it
So
out.
yeah,
Figure
exactly.
out figure out how
So
we're doing, what we like,
yeah,
how we want to operate.
exactly. So this is
We're learning as you're learning.
exactly. This is kind of just like intro and just kind of like these first videos. So give us time, take it calmly.
Yeah.
So do we want to start with the topics that we had prepped for today?
Might as well. I mean, we talked about enough last time. I mean,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
guys at this point, you guys kind of know what's going on around us.
yeah,
So,
you know who we are,
yep.
where we are from,
Yep.
what we major in, what year we are.
What we like to complain about
Yeah, I think, and
quite a bit.
with the topic of Penn State, I think it's very important to mention what has happened recently on the Penn
This
State
week,
campus. This week, Penn State campus shocked us with the information from that. I don't think it wasn't sent an official message from Penn State. It was just like what,
just
everyone
people found
heard.
out. Yeah, I found out from a friend of mine who doesn't even go here. He goes to Elizabethtown,
Yeah, I mean,
and I
everyone
was like,
are
"What?"
people in Florida know about this even. Like,
Yeah,
I think you guys are probably getting your idea what we're trying to talk about that, but the dude that cut off his private area, which is what happened, the bloody massacre, as they like to call it, of Penn State University. What do we think about that, Chase?
it's just it's such a crazy incident. Like,
Mhm.
if you're just like chilling out, like even if you're not at Penn State or something, and you just all of a sudden hear about this, like some dude trying to,
Yeah.
I mean, well, not trying to, he did it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gone. Do they? I think they stitch it back on if they can find
No,
it.
they definitely would. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not a doctor. Don't come me. Of course, I'm not. But
I've heard enough people say like they stitch it back on. Like,
yeah, exactly.
so
He'll be okay.
yeah, he's fine. He's alive. All
He's
there?
okay.
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's such a crazy like incident.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's so much that goes on here. And like,
Is this the
s-
craziest thing you could have imagined to happen at Penn State? Let me ask you this.
ooh,
Is this something that was like,
it
this
depends on
is
what
the
you
top of my rank of something crazy that could happen at Penn State?
I think it depends on what you define
Have you heard
as
about that
crazy.
kid that, I'm not trying to push this, but have you heard about that kid that died from that one university? I mean, that one frat at our university.
Not off the top of my head.
I'm not gonna
But
go into
yeah,
that
we don't have
topic,
to go into that.
but yeah, that was an incident that I know moved a lot of people. And then last year, we had this girl that died.
Yep, she got hit by a
I'm
car.
also sorry, I'm not trying to push the sensitive topics, but
Yeah,
she sadly passed away, you know, by this horrible accident.
yep.
But um, yeah, I mean,
It's just
guy is not, this guy is not like dead, but at the same time, at least for me, this is probably the most crazy thing that I could have imagined. Like, I don't know why. He's not dead. He's still alive. He's with us.
mhm.
And yet, this is the craziest thing that
It's like yeah,
in my head I could imagine. And
yeah,
I never thought I'll be talking on a podcast
about
about
about something like this.
someone at a student at Penn State cutting his private area off because he was on acid. Because
Yeah,
he was on acid.
yeah. And I think I think I would say the worst thing about this I'm not surprised. And I don't like to say that, but like the Penn State community, I mean, we're a big community. I mean,
I
we
mean,
are. We are.
we are.
And it's just like what when you're actually here, you kind of know what goes on behind the
Yeah,
scenes, and you kind of know how crazy some stuff can get.
yeah.
That it's like this is such a crazy incident. Why am I not like absolutely shocked about it? Why am I like, hmm, okay, this makes sense. I mean, like I could imagine somebody doing
But
that.
I
I
don't.
don't want to imagine somebody doing that, but it's like I could.
But you see, I lived here since 2019, which, math on podcast is never good, but 6 years.
Hmm.
So lived here for 6 years, and kind of just like over 6 years, almost
No,
going into.
no, 2019. We're not in
Oh, sorry,
2025 yet. We're
sorry,
almost
going.
there. It's almost six
Yeah,
years.
as I said,
Almost
math
six
on
years.
life is never good. But yeah, going into 6 years. You know, I've I've heard about these incidents, but i- is this is this because of this generation that we're in? Is this
I
because of
don't think
is this
so.
because of who is at Penn State and who was at Penn State, or was this always a thing? Just like this not talking about cutting your private areas, so that's not what I mean. I'm more talking about drugs,
Yeah.
acid, cocaine, things that are happening behind the scenes at Penn State that we we as students know that are happening. I'm more than sure the faculty also knows this.
It's bad. I feel like some faculty might even participate.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
So,
know. Like that's one of the things we don't know
yeah,
about.
we're not
But
dropping
like
any names. We don't know anyone.
again, wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, exactly. So, is this a change in time? Because cocaine used to be a big thing back in 70s, 80s.
Even 90s.
Yeah, even 90s. I mean, yeah, and it like stopped. It like maybe not stopped, but it like
It died. It died down. Yeah.
died down, and now we're
I think
back
they.
to.
I feel like they kind of cracked down on it. You know.
Yeah. So what is happening now that is different than it was 5 to 10 years ago? What do you think is different?
What's different? I feel like it's the community overall, like the society of the world. I mean, or the
Is it post
U.S.
COVID or no? Is it a post
Ooh,
COVID thing?
I'd say yeah, maybe post-COVID too. Like
Yeah.
the change. I mean, in 2020 we swapped
Yeah.
presidents, and overall it's like just
By the way,
how
we're not gonna get political on
yeah,
this podcast. May I say this ahead of
we
time?
hate we hate politics.
This is he hates
I hate
politics.
politics.
I'm okay with politics. I can talk about politics. As we mentioned in our introductory, I'm open-minded, I'm extroverted.
Yeah,
But we're just not gonna get into this. I'm not trying to, say
this
who,
isn't what the
what,
podcast is
whatever.
for.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Going back,
going back,
you can,
what was I
yeah,
talking about? Oh yeah, but
the,
like as society
yeah,
changes, we're changing. That means laws can change. What people like, dislike can change. I mean, we're in a world that social media is an everyday thing, and something that somebody does over in California
yeah,
can affect you like instantly.
yeah. I mean, come on.
It's the time of trends.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I. As a European, as a Polish person, I lived in the US since 2016. I still have a mentality of a Polish person, kind of like I definitely have some more American influence. I'm definitely not as my parents are, but I don't think anyone in Poland right now is how their parents, their grandparents are, because there's just way
Yeah,
more extreme than what it like used to be. But I definitely still feel like I don't fully agree with today's society and how today's people that are in this Penn State are how are acting. I mean, you know how I am. You know what I say. You know what I say behind cameras about what is happening. I'm not gonna get into, you know, what I think, but I do believe that what Chase is saying about this transitional movement through change and how people act is real. I do believe in that because I strongly feel like we no, don't show what company it is. We don't want to free. We're not giving free sponsorships here. I'm already representing Nike,
I'm
but
already representing
yeah,
local
whatever.
company though.
But going back, I don't I, I don't agree with this. And this is the problem because I live in this town. I live with this town. I'm a Polish person who's lived here since 2019 and I live with this town. I strongly believe that this town is one of the better towns I've ever lived in. And I lived in a couple of towns in my life, not even just in the United States and Poland also. I yeah, this is it's crazy. This whole incident, the whole thing that happened is crazy. The movement, the way the people are moving in today's society, especially in Penn State, is crazy too to me. Yeah, I'm not happy with what is happening right now, but I was definitely shocked when I heard about it. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah,
was definitely shocked, and I think this is a post-COVID kind of thing. But you know, as we said before, what's causing this? Drugs,
drugs,
alcohol,
alcohol.
drugs, acid, cocaine, all those all those things that we know that are happening. This is a good way to maybe transition into the more leaving the topic of what happened in Penn State because I think we already talked about enough what we think about what has happened. I think this is a good way to transition into what Penn State is about. Do we This is a party university. This
It's
is
a
a
party
party college.
university.
This is
Yeah,
We're attending a party college. What do we think that what do we think about whole alcohol and drugs? What do you think about the whole alcohol and drugs, I should say? Like what do you think this college is alcohol the like what this college should live by, what she should stand by since it's a party college? Since is this like what we are known by?
I feel like I feel like for people who want to like go to college and party,
Hmm.
Penn State is one of the places. I mean, we're known for it,
Okay. As a, I
but
Trust me, I as a Polish person don't know what other party schools there are. I've heard
yeah,
that I knew about this as a party school when I moved into this town. Before that, I didn't know anything about Penn State. Never heard of it
yeah.
before I moved here. So I don't know.
But I mean, I feel like alcohol, drugs, and all that. I personally, I don't like any of it. I don't really condone drinking, doing drugs. I don't do any of it. Never plan to do any of it.
Yeah, no, 100% understand.
It's just my personal morals, personal take, personal
I
experiences.
mean, we're below the age of 21, so
And yeah,
technically it's
it's
illegal.
illegal. Yeah.
I mean, we know how it is on campus with, drinking, drugs. You always,
But
you're always
then
around it. It's always like happening.
it's
Even
there,
it's
it's
there. You
prevalent.
you want to prevent it or no. I'm not gonna say if I've done something or what I've done because this is not, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
talk about that stuff. But I can say as much as a Polish person in Europe where the age of drinking is 18. I've tried alcohol before, and it's just the way life is,
Yeah.
different communities, different cultures, and all of that. But since we're in the United States, a little bit different here. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
But like on I feel like that almost isn't the problem
mhm.
with Penn State. I feel like it almost is the fact that we are a party state, or
Okay.
not party state. We're a party college.
Yep.
And again, I don't go to the parties. I mean, I'm as an introverted
A little
person,
bit different with me, but
as a as someone who's like just I like to chill. I don't like being in these like loud,
yeah.
chaotic environments. I feel like that almost is a problem in itself because a lot of people come here to party. Like they'll be a business major, or
Communications.
sorry for people like that, communications major.
Don't try to blast at
Not
communications,
trying to
but
blast people.
we know you have free time. Don't
We
don't
know,
look at
yeah,
me like this through your screen, being like, "Hey, yo, nah, we
yeah.
know."
Like those majors that can have
More
fairly
open free
a
time.
fairly successful like career
Yeah.
while also maintaining that nice amount of open free time to either work, party, uh, just hang out. I almost feel like that itself is kind of like the problem because
Okay. But don't
with
you
the
think
party almost brings these other things because you're gonna have such a big mix of people.
are parties bad?
Parties themselves are not bad. I think it's parties at our age that are not like either at least slightly kind of uh,
Monitored?
monitored, stuff like that, kind of
So let
makes
me
it.
ask you this. Sorry for interrupting. Let
Yeah.
me ask you this. As someone who legally can drink alcohol in Europe,
Hmm.
you too, of course,
Yeah,
but as someone who's been to
been to
Europe,
Europe,
lived,
lived in
goes
Europe. Yep.
back, yeah, exactly, and experienced that, none of my friends ever have a problem with alcohol or
Yeah.
drugs. None of them are alcoholics. None of them have taken illegal drugs. None of them have consumed anything illegal. And none of them are crazy
Yeah.
about this. So
But now
the
we're talking over in Poland right now.
exactly. So
Yes.
let me finish this. So my question is, so no, maybe not a question, but the problem clearly is not the alcohol itself. It's more of the
No.
usage of it.
Usage of
So why
alcohol.
do you think that the alcohol usage at our college or at our university is so strong and so negative?
I think it's our culture.
Is it US culture or is
It's
it Penn State culture? Is it
it's both. I
okay?
feel like U.S. culture itself is like as a teenager, as a kid, when it's illegal,
You want to
you
do stuff
want,
illegal because you want to break the law.
yeah,
You
you
want
want to break the law.
to be that teenagers.
You want to be a teenager. Yeah, you want to be kind of reckless. You want to push
100%.
boundaries. You want to see what you can get away with.
Yeah.
And because of that,
Personally, didn't have that experience, but that's just me.
same here.
Exactly.
Um, but like I feel like it's almost heightened to an extreme extent once you get to college, and especially here, because
No one's
there's
stopping you.
no
No one
supervision. There's
is.
no one
You're
stopping
on
you.
your
Yeah,
own. Yeah.
you're on your own. You're just doing what you want, and you can get away with a ton of stuff,
Yeah. I
like
mean, yeah.
what we started with.
Yeah. Ah,
I
there's a
mean,
line, I think.
they're gonna
At
find
that
out.
point,
I mean,
I
of course
think.
they're finding out, but
Yeah.
like he was on acid,
Yeah.
did his what he did, and I mean now he's got to pay the consequences.
Yeah. So, do you think that the age of drinking should be lower? Would that solve the? Would listen? Would you do you think that because if the age of drinking was lower, this is kind of going with where my mindset on this lies.
Yeah,
Do you think that if the age of drinking was lower, people would normalize drinking and they wouldn't make it such a big deal when they're coming into college, which would cause them to maybe adapt to this alcohol earlier when they're adapting through these teenage years. So when they get to college and when the life starts getting serious, because after all, high school, you can,
yeah, you can
you can just
fly through that.
slide through.
I had no homework for the
Exactly.
last 3 years of my
Yeah, and
uh
then you come into college where you're meant to study. You're meant to go to school,
yeah.
but you're trying to experience. I could go on such a long rant about something that I do want to move into because I think this is going to be a great transition. But first, I still want to stick to this about drinking. What do you think? Because I think that if the age of drinking was lower, 18 years old, I don't know how I would be worried about the United States. I would be worried at first moment how the people would react to this. I think community is built in such a way right now at this moment, people would lose it and there will be too many deaths at this point. And uh, mm, mm,
I
uh, I think that if you switch it from 21 to 18, the amount of college students abusing that ability for the first 1 to 3 months would be so drastic that United States would impose some type of law, and it would not be able to handle it. That's my thing. I think right now it's at a point where we cannot make that change.
Honestly, I get what you're saying. I like I can agree with that at 18. No way, because that's right as you're leaving high school going to
So do you think it
college.
should be
So
farther?
you're still doing the exact same thing that you were doing in high school. You
Hmm.
want that intrigue, you want to be reckless, you want to push your boundaries
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
and try new things. I think honestly what would be the best is even pushing it forward 2 more years
I was gonna say,
to
do
16. Because I know there's some places in Europe, I think,
yeah,
what is it, Germany?
Germany,
Germany.
beer,
Beer,
not hard alcohol,
okay. But still,
beer. Yeah.
a form of alcohol is available to you
So maybe
at 16.
softer alcohol more available so you can get the taste of what alcohol
Yeah,
does to your system,
yeah,
but it's not okay. All right.
yeah. And it's like you kind of get this idea, and it's like you have the ability to try that right away, and you're most likely going to try that like around your parents or something because it's legal. It's
Yeah.
not like something big, and they'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, try it. We want you to almost,
Yeah.
depending on who your parents are." And you just get to experience it in a much more calm manner. You're not like it's not getting your adrenaline pumping or anything.
Yeah. All right.
Because I feel like that's almost like
What
what people
people do,
chase.
why
They
people
want
do
the
it.
adrenaline
Yeah.
high of breaking the law,
I mean, this is
of having the possibility of being caught.
yeah, I mean, this is what we stand by as teenagers. What we young people, they want to live your life to the fullest. They want to experience it to the fullest to just enjoy yourself. I mean, yeah, 100% like my dream is to go skydiving.
Can't relate. Can't
I
relate.
mean, it's for some people, it's not for some people, but I want to go skydiving so badly. It's just, I just want to, and my dad promised me for my 18th birthday we would go, and we haven't gone yet.
21st.
No, you have to be 18. You can be 18 to
I
skydive.
know. I'm just
Oh, you're
saying.
saying on the
Now for the
21st.
21st birthday,
I'll probably get it done before that, but you know, it will be cool. But I think this is a great transitioning moment into, you want to add something?
film it.
Huh?
I said film it.
100% GoPro. I'm gonna buy a GoPro for that.
Yeah, get the GoPro.
Yeah.
Now
But
get like one of those 360 cameras that you just hold out here.
yeah. No, but I'll
Yeah.
be afraid that I drop it because I'm so excited. There's
Strap it
too much
down. Just
adrenaline.
strap it.
Yeah, strap it. We- Yeah, but I think this is a great transitioning to so we talked about, the alcohol and how like in Europe, we were in Germany, where I'm from Poland, so
Mhm.
16, 18 years old. US versus European culture. As someone that is an American, what do you see the biggest differences in people like me?
Ooh. So besides like knowing you
Yeah,
and how you are, I'm not very cultured in sort of this sort of topic.
yeah,
But like just basing it off of you yourself.
just emotions, views, and everything.
Now this might just be your personal personality, but like you're a lot more carefree, you're a lot more open. It's a lot more like I guess you're more willing to try stuff and at the same time
But
you're
we talked that the college students
overall
also want to try stuff. They want to try those
true.
drugs.
Yeah. But like you're more mature about it.
Okay.
You have while being like yourself and being frankly quite immature about a lot of things, you have that underlying maturity that you know what you're doing. You're in control of what you're doing.
So do you think that maturity
Which
comes later in the United States?
I definitely think so, yeah.
Okay,
Because I
good,
mean,
good.
you can tell almost with culture.
I'm so happy that you said that because I wanted to push that topic because I 100% think so. And I talk about this with my dad all the time that I
Yeah.
think what's surprising to me, and this is, I'm not going to be shouting out names right now, but I think what's the craziest is I was in um, seventh grade and someone that was related to my dad, closer than Les, she had two sons. And in seventh grade, they both had, one was my grade, one was seventh grade, and one was, if I'm not mistaken, fifth grade. They both had babysitters. and this was in California, so this may be different than Pennsylvania, but they had babysitters, both of them.
Hmm.
Older brother couldn't take care of the younger brother. They needed a babysitter in seventh grade. Never had a babysitter in my entire life, may I say. Never.
Can't relate. I had two. One
Okay.
when I was a toddler, which makes sense, and then one
Yeah.
when I was maybe third, fourth, fifth.
Okay.
Like at a
Great.
point where it's like almost I don't really need one. But
For you.
as you're saying, maturity is different in different cultures, and we
But it
definitely
could
mature
also be
slower
about
here.
this, not even the maturity, but maybe the people that are surrounded you. I've never heard of a crazy crackhead walking around Berlin on the news, but I
Hmm.
hear about someone kidnapping their daughter from their divorced parents' house and just driving away in a silver Toyota Corolla, because that's what it usually seems to
It's
be.
always the
It's
Corollas,
always the Corollas or the Priuses that seem to
the
be
Camrys.
Camrys. Sorry, yes, Camrys. That it's always one or the other, and then it's just like, ah, there we go again. Another day in the United States. So
Yep.
sorry that I interrupted, but like, is it?
I feel like we're almost more because of this stuff that goes on and the culture, I mean, we're the melting pot that's
Yeah,
been the US since the beginning. Uh,
bad. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
terrible.
Terrible. I'm joking, of course, but
Um,
but
the actual crazy tangent, the melting pot restaurant. I don't know if you've ever been there. So good.
crazy
Recommend.
shout, crazy shout.
Recommend. It's over
Found melting pot.
over in Harrisburg area, I think.
Okay.
But again, we're the melting pot.
Mm,
So we have so many different cultures that are combined within our own that we now have
hmm
that we get a lot of the good, but we also get a lot of the bad,
mm,
and it almost causes us to become more sheltered,
hmm
which stunts the maturity
Okay.
because we're held back from like having to see these things, having to experience these things, unless we are the unlucky ones that end up in these situations.
No, okay. I 100% understand that. Um, you see, so I talked about the babysitting, but also w- what is one of the bigger things for me is when I hear my friends, when I'm hanging out with them, and I hear now that we're in college, let's say it's the winter break, and we're back from college, we're back to our homes. My friends are not living in dorms, they're back at home, and I hear my friends go, "Sorry, I can't come because I have to help my mom with groceries." Slash, sorry, I can't go out. My mom told me no. Sorry, or hold up, I have to ask my mom if I can go.
Yeah.
Is that normal at this age?
It
Is it is this
as a community,
what do you think that's normal? Do you ask your mom if you can if do you ask your mom for permission if you can go out when you're back home out?
at times, yes. Actually, no. This is also kind of partially because of how I grew up.
Mhm.
I do. Like I'll ask my parents. I'll be like, "Yo, can I go do this or this?" So like they know where I'm going, they know what I'm doing. But
Now,
at the
even
same,
now?
even now,
Okay.
yes. But at the same time, I have the freedom. Like
What if he told you no?
99.9% of the time, it's something I can go do. I guess at this point, I shouldn't say I'm asking. It's more so
You're
I'll
letting them
ask.
know.
I'll let them know. Yeah, and I'll ask, are we doing anything? Is there something that's already
There we go.
pre-planned
Okay. All right. This is
that we're
very different.
doing
This
that
is
would
not
prevent me from going and doing this?
exactly. This is not asking for permission. This is just, hey, I'm going out.
Yeah,
Do you want to do something together now? Because
yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's valid.
And then I mean, within that, it's slightly asking for permissions because it's like I'm letting you know if you're not okay with me doing this, please let me know now.
So I've had these experiences with my friends and people that I surround myself with, and I'm always like I've had like this stuff, and I'm always like, just why are you asking your parents? You're a fucking grown up. You're a grown ass man. And this is definitely a different cultural thing because I remember. I'm traveling to Poland on the 25th. I'm going back home. That's why I said I'm I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in State College, but on the 25th, I'm going back home where my mom still
Christmas Day.
lives. My mom, my grandparents still live there, my uncle, my whole family still live there. Only child.
Same here.
Yeah, two only childs. Um, so I'm going back to see her and see my mom, of course, her. And yeah, I told my mom, I was letting her know that I figure out, she was the one who bought me the plane ticket because she wanted to buy it for me, and she let me know that hey, it's bought and this and this. So I told her, hey, I'm letting you know. I organized myself parking. I did this, this, and this. And she's like, why are you letting me know? That's what she asked me.
Hmm.
And I said, yeah, I'm just like, letting you know so you don't have to ask later. And she goes, do you not know how to figure those stuff out? And I'm like, I do, but I just wanted to let you know. She told me that it's okay. Thank you for letting me know. You don't gotta.
Okay.
My mom has been telling me for the last 4 years that like I don't have to ask for her permission. Even she doesn't live here, so I don't ask her for permission that much also. But even my dad now, like I'm just like, hey yo, I'm gonna go buy something from a store, just letting you know that I'm getting this because I'm paying with probably his money. And it's my I have my money. Don't look
Yeah.
at me like I'm just like a
This
spoiled
is
only child Brad. This is more just like, hey, I'm gonna buy a filter for our fridge because it's broken. Like it's more
yeah.
it's filter broken. This is like done. It's like the fridge tells you to change it. So
Mhm.
hey, I'm going to Home Depot / Lowe's to go get a fridge filter. It's not like anything
Yeah.
crazy.
And on top of that, since we're both only children,
Yeah.
it's an interesting dynamic. But uh, where you both come from, I would say pretty fortunate families, like pretty well off.
Yeah.
So there's times like we'll say stuff like this, and it's normal for us.
Yeah, I mean
But
some
it's like
people, some
again,
people
we
have
we all,
even
we both understand. We're both grateful for the position we have,
exactly, yeah,
and we
100%.
both understand other people aren't in the same
100%.
same position, same boat as us.
100%. I mean, talking about, you know, fridge filter, I mean,
A
some
fridge
people,
filter. Some people don't have fridges.
exactly, some people don't have fridges, some people don't have, water that comes out, of a fridge. That's why you need a filter
So you
because of
need
the
to
water,
filter the water so it's clean. Yeah.
I'm talking about this because this is just an example. This isn't meant to like, put anyone in a bad position, but
Yeah.
I'm just explaining that I'm letting my dad know, and he's like, just go do it. Like, don't let me know. My parents are at a point where they do not want me to for me to act like I'm living under them. They want me to
Live
live
with
as
them.
my no, they want me to live as my own
Okay.
individual, as an like I'm an adult, and I'm at a point where my dad has my location on my phone,
Hmm.
and that's just because he has it,
Yeah.
and he texts me, hey, are you home? And I'm like, nah, I'm at a party, and he's like, oh, okay. Not a problem because he knows I have my life.
Yeah.
My mom knows I have my life, and I told my mom, for example, came up to me. This is now relating to my friends, and I was in Poland. I was staying with my grandparents at for that day. My grandma, and no worries, my grandparents are still alive, but I was staying with my grandma, and I was going to see my friends. So I just, see ya, taking the bus, going to my friends, and my mom asked me, what am I doing? Because they live a little bit out of town. They live like 45 minutes with a car out of town. So they were going into town, and they asked me what I'm doing. I'm like, sorry, I'm busy. I'm with my friend. And she was like, oh, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, like you came and you're not gonna be seeing your mom. It's more like, yeah, come. I
Yeah.
mean, you're an adult, you have your life. Same with like transportation. I've been flying by myself in the plane. I'm not even like 6 years old. Uh, 6, 7. Of course, when
Wow.
you're young, you have like people that that come and walk
Monitor, help you. Yeah.
monitors that are walking because you're not legally allowed to fly by yourself till
Yeah.
you're like some planes say 14, some places say 16 years old, but like you still are flying without your parents. You're not you're getting through the planes by yourself. So I grew up with this individuality as well as with my parents, they are divorced now, of course. Of course, so they're like since my dad is living in the United States, my mom lives in Poland, they're divorced. But I was just raised to kind of like live this individual life and kind of just like learn how to go by yourself. In Poland, I went to school and I hopped on I woke up, my mom was not home, she already went to work, you had to get dressed, you know, sent to school, walk through, those, you guys know those TikTok videos that are just like how my parents got to school. It's kind of like this. I walked through like imagine like a farm field. You walk through it through like farmland, and then you like get past and there's just a bus stop and you wait till like a white bus comes, and then you have to get the bus, get to school, you go to school, you do your classes, you have to come out, you wait for the school bus. And it's not like a yellow school bus, it's like an old crappy post-Soviet Union bus, takes you back to that stop. You have to walk back home. This seems like some people might be like, oh yeah, I do this all the time, but some people might be like, damn, like that's an experience.
Yeah, like for me, my bus stop was my neighbor's house, my
Yeah.
next door neighbor's house.
Yeah.
That was my bus stop for the whole my whole life until I stopped riding the bus.
Yeah.
But I feel like what you're talking about here is definitely a difference in cultures
Yeah, exactly.
because
Maturity at an early
maturity
age.
at an early age. Yeah,
Exactly.
because on the other hand, I've flown a ton, never by myself. Could I do it by myself? Certainly. I mean, I've done it
Top
so
top.
much. It's like, yeah, this is no problem. But like, it's just those sorts of things. Like when you said the first time was like six, I that just that completely blew my mind.
When was the first time you were left alone home for a longer
Ooh,
period of time, like
like
more than a day?
more than a day.
Like your parents were not home for like
This is gonna
your day, and then like they came back the next day, for example.
this will this might be kind of crazy.
Never, other than
14 or 15.
not that crazy.
Not that crazy? You
I've
sure?
heard people that have yet to be left alone home.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
other than
Yeah.
college, of course, but like
I'd say ooh, or no, it might have been 16 because at
okay,
16 was when I could actually drive and
okay,
I could go get my own stuff. I could take care of myself.
yeah,
I didn't have to be like stocked up on food or anything, stacked up on food in the fridge.
yeah,
I could go and I could get my food. I could get something to drink. I could go hang out with friends.
yeah. So what if I told you that when I came to the US, I was at sixth grade, my dad was working at a club in California. I was left alone for 4 days as an 11-year-old in my house.
That you see, so I've heard some people that do get like do have that sort of freedom at that age. But
Freedom or worry? Or
mm,
would you think that I know what my dad was feeling. Would you think that I was like, hey, hey, or I'm free, my parents are not home, or do you think it was like, oh damn,
it it really depends on who it is. I was always someone who was pretty attached to like my parents.
parents,
I'm
okay.
still attached to my parents,
Yeah,
as I mean, I would say everybody should be. There's some cases like I don't want to get into that,
yeah.
but like I didn't like being home alone. I didn't
I hear that a lot of
I
times
don't
from
like being left
Americans.
behind when they go and do stuff. Now it's like, oh, okay, sure. I don't really care. I can do my own thing and I enjoy doing my own thing.
So could this be also an only child thing?
Yes.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go.
Because I mean, as an only child, you become more
You're
attached
just
to
singular to your
yeah,
parents.
to your parents as your parents become more attached to you.
Exactly. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, and I feel like I'm not here to say that my parents were bad. I'm just
Yeah.
here to say that I didn't have that attachment with my parents because my dad was traveling all the time. When I was in Poland, I would get home at like 3 and my mom would get home at 4:30, something like that. So I would have like this 1.5 hour by myself at home,
Yeah.
and then I would just straight up just go play on my Xbox 360 that I got in 2012 for my first
Ooh,
communion. So
beat me to it.
yeah, so or I would go outside actually and just like play in the playground, but it would, or homework, homework also, but you didn't have that much homework back then. But
Yeah.
what I want to say is like my dad would travel in sixth grade, I would be left alone seventh grade, and then eighth grade. And I think the first time I was left for a whole week alone was in high school. In ninth grade, I was left for a whole week alone. And in 10th grade, I was left for almost 2 weeks alone. And in the span of those 2 weeks, fun fact, everyone, I got my diabetes.
Hmm.
The 2 weeks my dad was not home because he had to go recruit as a fencing coach for Penn State University. You have to go on the recruitment trips, recruit fencers to usually to different countries since fencing is an international sport. He would go recruit to another country. I don't remember where he was at the time, and I was there. It was like right after Easter, so it was like April something like early April, and I got diagnosed. Was in the hospital, so
Hmm.
yeah, so
That's
it
crazy.
was very different. My dad was not there. My mom was not there when I got it. When I spent 3 days in the hospital, none of my
Wow.
parents were there.
Wow.
None of my grandparents. I was just by myself with like family friends that dropped me off, and she was of course sad because she's a
Yeah.
family friend, but she dropped me off to to the hospital that we have here at State College, Mount Nittany Hospital, and then they took me into an ambulance and they drove me over like Danville, somewhere like 1.5 hour away, more like towards Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So,
Hmm.
so it's just like those things, like this happens to you and your parents are not there,
Yeah.
but
That could almost.
but I didn't feel sad.
Yeah.
I didn't feel sad because I was used to it. Because I was used to not my parents not being there. Was used to this. They feel sad that I was not there. They were like shocked, but
Yeah.
I was okay with it. I
Yeah.
was totally okay. Like of course you're like shit. Like you want your parents to be there, but
Yeah.
like it's not like a horrible thing. Like it's okay.
I'd I'd say besides like that's of course this is of course a lot because of how we were raised.
Yeah,
But I'd say this is also kind of a difference in culture. Like you were saying, go out and play
yeah.
on your own. Just go out to the
Playground.
park and play.
Yeah.
That can be, depending on where you're at, that can be
Scary
a
thing in the
very
United.
dangerous thing here,
Exactly. Yeah.
especially if you're at that age alone by yourself and you just go outside.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say that I drove. I when I was in Poland when I came in like sixth, seventh, eighth grade, I would just drive trains around the city by myself. Like I would just get on a train,
You
go
just go
out,
and explore.
just go and explore the city.
Yeah,
Just go. And I'm from a bigger city in Poland. It's called Gdańsk. It's north by the Baltic Sea. Shout out Gdańsk. But um, it's a bigger city. It's what they call like the tri-city. So you have Gdynia, Sopot, Gdańsk. So they're like three like beach cities. Gdańsk is the biggest one. Sopot is like tiny, but that's where like all the parties and where all the college students are. That's like where all the
hmm,
parties are. And then Gdynia is like where all like you put like all the old people. It's like
interesting.
it's like very older, and it's like kind of like this second. It's the second biggest one, and it's sometimes kind of like the forgotten one, as many would like to call it.
Yeah,
But yeah, this is like so you usually just go and explore kind of. Yeah, but
mm,
it's very much different in culture. So with this topic of differences in culture, are you ready for study abroad during your fourth year?
am I ready for study abroad?
Right now, as a second year student of architecture, let's hypothetically say you stick to architecture.
Like, are we saying, am I prepared and ready to go? Or like,
What are you excited about?
what am I? I'm excited to explore. I'm excited to go to Rome.
Hmm.
That's where I'm going. I'm going to Rome.
Hmm.
I believe you're going to Rome too.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they
No,
put Barcelona on the list, then
that would be sick. But I'd probably still go to Rome because I have not yet experienced it.
yeah,
Um, but like I want to go and explore. I want to go to Europe. I have
yeah.
not been there yet, and just see the difference in culture
Hmm.
from an architectural standpoint. See the architecture of Rome, uh, and everything surrounding it. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're learning here, I would go see because that was the place where everything was kind of created.
Yeah, I mean, where
Europe
Rome
came
became.
before America. That's
Yeah,
why we're the melting pot. Everything came spilling over the ocean over to here. So it's just it's a
you still had
neat
the
difference.
natives. You had the natives here,
We
so
had the natives.
let's not forget we have them.
We have the natives. Some,
Some, some, yes,
as
small population,
since
but some.
yeah, and then also difference. I don't know if you ever learned about these things, but learning. I mean, being a born American, I've learned all about American history.
Yeah, I learned about American history. Yeah,
Yeah, but I've learned everything
like
kind of.
the Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail, uh,
Learned.
Louisiana
Yep,
Territory.
I had all
Yeah,
of that. It's middle school. It's
I had that in elementary school.
okay. I had that in eighth grade.
Yeah. Um, but like I even learned about local things that happened. Like we had a native tribe on the Susquehanna River
Yeah, learned
where
about
Lancaster
that.
was,
Yep.
and
Really? Is that where is that close to Lancaster? I didn't even
Yeah,
know.
it's so
Oh, right.
Lancaster, Columbia, which is I mean they're almost the same,
Yeah, yeah.
and then Columbia is on the river.
Okay, all right. Well,
So
I never connected those dots, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so
Okay.
I learned about stuff like that. I learned about like the natives that lived where I was learning like at the time,
Hmm.
which is now Amish country,
Yeah,
and kind of like what happened to them.
yeah.
Very tragic,
It's
but
besides the point.
yeah,
Yeah,
that just really quick
yeah.
preface. My phone battery just died. My camera died, so we're down to one
So
camera now.
we're stuck to me now.
Study abroad. Yeah, it's gonna be a like a great experience. I'm looking forward to it. And then going back all the way back, not to the beginning stuff, but going back to like cultures. I definitely know I'm gonna miss my parents. I'm gonna miss being home. I
The
have the
food.
ability to drive home almost like not every weekend because architecture, but
Yeah,
whenever I have a free weekend, I like to go home. I like to spend time with my family, spend
yeah.
time with my parents, and just spend time at home. I won't be able to do that for an entire semester or more, depending
Yeah.
on like if I end up having to stay there a little bit longer, or like I choose to stay there a little bit longer. I it's just that
I think it's
loss
gonna be
of
great. I think this experience is what every American should experience. And I absolutely hate when the Americans say they don't want to leave the country because it's necessary.
oh yeah,
Traveling to California from New York City and saying that you went to the other side of the United States is not the same as going across the fucking ocean and going there and getting in those countries and just experiencing or everything after all like came from or like most of it came from because let's not exclude the you know Oceania and the Asia and
hmm
all those countries that migrated also to the West Coast.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
it's
even so, like Europe is it's what the size of Texas.
something like that.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
like
like
Texas is massive, and Texas takes up almost that entire space. But within that, you have so many different cultures, all separated. You have so many different languages,
yeah.
and just going over there and like everything is like so close.
When you cross the boundary, those that region, you feel like you're in a different region. Whereas in the United States, you cross Arizona
Yeah,
into, I don't know, Utah or Arizona into Nevada, and you're just like, I'm still in the same country.
yeah. Like I last spring break, I did a drive all the way from uh here, actually home, which is
Yeah,
two and
Lancaster.
a half hours away, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Traffic sometimes. longer.
Yep.
Um, from there all the way to Florida, Daytona Beach,
Yeah.
14,
Hour.
14 and a half maybe hour drive.
Hmm.
Did it in one day. Only thing that changed was the scenery
Yep. And
and the
weather.
temperature. It was like, hmm, I that was a great drive. I loved that drive.
Yeah.
Coming back, different story,
Yeah.
but
That's for a
that
different
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 time.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a short story,
Yeah.
like all my stories. But driving down that in one day, it was like it felt the same.
Okay.
It didn't feel like anything terribly special,
That's valid.
but like yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's what it is like in this country, I feel like. That's what it is, just crossing the border and you're just like stuck in the same region. That's why I said every American, in my opinion, should go across the border, should cross this ocean, and they should experience this Europeanness, Asianness, just like this, like other region than this country, because it's important. It's important to me as someone from outside of the US that people go see other countries, and that is why anyone ever is in Poland and they feel like they don't know where they are. I'm here to tell you it's nothing like Russia. Reach out and actually talk to people. Don't be afraid when you're across the border because people are nice. And even when you think they're not nice, they're nice. And if one person is not nice, ask another person. If the another person is not nice, ask the third person because you will find someone that will help you. 100%. Guaranteed. And the language barrier is not a problem.
yeah,
I'm here to tell you, you might not realize this. Europeans speak just enough English where they will at least tell you one person, at least like this one person that you approach will tell you where to go. You say straight, they'll tell you right. You're able to communicate. Um, I'm looking at the time that we're at. We're at 53 minutes. We're like around 53 minutes, and I'm looking at our topics that we had prepared for today, and I think
we hit a good amount of them. I
that
feel like
we wrap it up on this. So thank you so much for tuning in.
yep.
Do you want to add something?
Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope that you guys enjoyed this one. This was the first real episode.
Yeah, this is around how long this is going to be.
Yep,
Maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, but this is how
yep,
much we're gonna aim to talk on my episode. Maybe sometimes we'll go into hour and a half because we just have this topic that we just want to talk about. But
yeah,
that's like rarity, I would say. Rather, we're gonna try to stick between this half an hour to an hour, as we mentioned in the last like an intro episode. But yeah, as me and my colleague said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching also. So this is gonna be available on YouTube, probably maybe available on Spotify.
that would be
And
great.
yeah, that would be great. And then check socials
Yep,
and like this video, subscribe,
we're
because we
already
gotta
doing
plug
that. I
we
don't.
gotta plug it in.
Oh no, no, no.
And once again, thank you to thank you to listening to the Open Mic podcast,
Yep.
and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Be ready for a guest.
Be ready for the guest because he's coming in the next episode.
He.
Maybe she.
Ooh.
We
Guess
don't know.
you
We
gotta
don't
watch
know.
the
We
next
don't
one
want
to
to
find
spoil
out.
anything. We don't want to spoil anything. But thank you once again and stay tuned in. Thanks, guys.
See ya.